Yo, I was young when the storm hit my life. Lost my queen, but the village held me tight. Every tear, every scar, every sleepless night built a woman who knows how to fight. Black girl this, black woman that. Black girl this, black woman that.
Sometimes it's a little difficult for us to really connect with people who may not be on the same maturity level as us, and even sometimes who aren't on the same spiritual path, but we don't neglect them, right? No. Like, we still find ways to connect. We still find ways to connect and to talk and whatever it is. We find those ways. Has there ever been a challenge for you showing up as your authentic self and showing up as like, this is me, this is who I am, and this is how I think?
I think back to one of the conversations we had earlier where there's no separation between you and God. I think it's very easy to literally show up because it's like, this really is me.
Yeah.
This is, sometimes you're in spaces where this is where God's puts you. So it's like, he's putting you in a place to literally be you.
Yeah.
Because another thing for me is we're supposed to kind of like show God through ourselves, right?
Yeah.
So if I'm showing up as my authentic self, and a part of my authentic self is my relationship with God, and he's a part of this, you're supposed to see that.
Yeah.
You know, and the way I walk, the way I talk, the conversations, just things like that.
I asked that question because, like, Jesus wasn't even accepted all the time and wherever he went. And he had the reflection of Christ, of God in him for sure. So, like, and when I say challenges, I mean like being received, not necessarily as like a good or bad person, not that.
So my thing with that is, to be honest, I don't really care how. I'm being frank. I'm being honest. I don't really care how other people perceive me because for me, I've been misunderstood a lot.
Yeah.
And for me, I think it's more so like, I'm not responsible for how you perceive something. I think we talked about this before. I'm not responsible for how you perceive something. I'm only responsible to kind of do it or to say it or to just be it. So if I am being it or saying it or doing it, and that's opinions. It's you know, you might take it one way, somebody else might take it another way. Like, I'm not responsible to make sure that both people take it one way.
As long as you know that your intentions are aligned and
this is what I'm doing, this is what I'm showing up as, this is what this is. Kind of like take it as you will. Because like you said, sometimes people are on different levels, different spiritual levels, different spiritual journeys and what's not. So where I'm at, you might be able to understand and they might not be. So it's not my responsibility to make them understand because they might not be there, you know?
And that's a real concept to have, because then if we don't take on that mindset, we kind of stop ourselves from showing up, and we also stop ourselves from actually like doing what is told of us. Yeah.
And I also think it's not really our responsibility to change minds. I think our responsibility as Christians is to, just like Jesus did, he walked around and he told everybody about God, but he wasn't supposed to make them come to God.
And he didn't.
So it's kind of like the same thing. Like, I'm giving you the knowledge, or I'm giving you my perspective or whatever, and God is supposed to touch you in whatever way that you're supposed to be touched by it, you know?
Yeah. And it's on them to either take it
exactly
or leave it. That's the one thing that we do have is that free will. And I think people get a little confused with it sometimes. I feel like because it's like, oh, they're not receiving what I'm saying, and then we go into shutdown mode, right?
Yeah.
Like they're not receiving what I'm saying, or what I'm saying might just be wrong. No, it's not that.
It's
you
right.
know, they might
Yeah.
just not be in a space to receive it just yet.
Because sometimes we need time, just like some conversations we've had, and you said like after the fact you're thinking about it.
Yeah.
Sometimes we need time. Sometimes in the moment, we don't get it, or like I said, sometimes God needs to touch.
Yeah. Let him do the work.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then too, it's like, again, it goes back to intentions. If you know that your intentions are pure, and you know that you're coming from a place of like love, and you know you're coming from a place of like, I'm gonna drop this on you because it's in my heart to do so, then that's it. And then, let God do the rest.
Exactly.
Yeah. And it goes back to that piece of constantly putting God first and not necessarily putting ourselves first.
Yeah, because now you're in your feelings. You're in your feelings, and you're not supposed to be. Yep.
Exactly. So when you're having these conversations of just like knowledge and purpose and just fruitful conversations, do you feel like you're in your purpose, or can you identify what your purpose is?
I would say yes to both, because I don't feel like I am trying to, one, find my purpose, or two, get into my purpose. Because I feel like purpose is not just one like grounded thing.
Yeah.
Right? So for me, I think my purpose is kind of like what I said previously, to show up and show out. Meaning, if I'm showing up and I'm saying I'm a Christian and God is within me, I'm supposed to my purpose is to show up and touch people through that. Just being me, be the natural conversation. It's not forced. It's not like you have to. Just showing up and showing, one, what God can do, what he has done. Just kind of being an example in that.
And I love that, because we often think that we have to show up in a way that's not who we are, but it's what people are expecting. No, show up as yourself. Show up exactly as who you are and who God called you to be.
I'm not gonna say show up as who you are, because it is a journey.
Yeah,
because you can be who you are, and you can have some really bad traits and some bad habits.
Yeah.
But when you have that relationship with God and he kind of makes a turn on you, I think then show up as who you are.
You think so? I have to beg to differ. Because then it's like, all right, you see God, you see where you are. And in those moments of like still showing up as who you are, like, listen, this is who I am. You're either going to take it or leave it. And let's just say I take it, right? But I'm here with you. We on this journey together. And I see that thing that God did in you to pull you out.
Okay, I get that. The before and after. Okay, yeah. I get that. I get that.
Like,
okay.
Show up as who you are.
And the whole journey, the good, the bad, the in between. Okay,
yes,
I get that.
Absolutely. I think all of that is important.
Okay,
because you get to see what God can really do.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, so the good, the bad, and the in between. Show show up as who you are.
Yeah.
Yes. What do you think your purpose is? I can say for sure, we are all put here to love. So you can't say that one.
I ain't loving nobody.
What do you think your purpose is?
I think my purpose is to connect with people, not just in a, like, I would say superficial way, right? To connect on a deeper level and Like I have a really good way of kind of like breaking things down, right? Where a lot of people understand things better. So I think part of I think a very big part of my purpose is to, I don't want to say prophetize, because that's kind of like a strong word, but it sounds like to touch and give information and like expand, make you think about stuff and just.
Yeah. Do you think, have you ever shared how you got into doing hair? I don't think so.
No. And how that changed. Because I got into it for the money.
Good Lord.
I did.
But okay, so I asked because with you identifying what your purpose is, to really connect with people and really allow people to like really think through life. And I feel like that's important because when we actually think through life, then we get to see, one, the difference that's within us and in others. And two, it teaches them to really process so that then you can teach the next person. We don't do life just for us. We do life for others around us and to show them like there's possibility, there's purpose, and there's more. Yeah. So I asked you, have you ever shared that story? Because, I mean, you shared it with me. But then it's like, do you think it's aligning now with your clients and how you're connecting with them?
Yeah, definitely. Because like I said, I have a way of, breaking things down differently. I have a way of seeing, I guess, outside the box and like around the corner,
Across the street.
Yeah. So I think in the way I connect with my clients, I think it is aligned with my purpose, because it's like I have conversation with women about all kind of things. And like most times there's always a connection to like something, like if it's spiritual or, just God related. Sometimes I don't even know if they have to say a real close connection or relationship with God, but it just always kind of spins into that,
Do you think that's more so for you and your relationship with God, or is it for them?
I think it's both. I think that's just what God is allowing to happen. Yeah. Because I don't go into the situations or like the conversations like I'm gonna go touch somebody. Like it just be it really just be like conversation, and then like I'm just talking, and then after the fact I might get a text message or in another conversation they'll be like, you said something that like really touched me or like changed my perspective. Like I have one client, she came to me. This was like right after COVID, or like right when they opened back up. And well, I didn't know at the time, but she had lost both of her parents. And she's an older lady, so she had lost both of her parents to COVID, and she was having a really hard time with it. But I didn't know. I just showed up, and I'm like, talking to her, and then like I'm laughing, and like we're having all kind of conversations. And then it was like a while after, I think it was maybe her 1 year hair anniversary or whatever. And she said to me, she was like, I was in a really bad space when I met you. And I actually looked forward to like coming to the salon and just having conversations with you. It wasn't even about getting my hair done. And I was like, really? I don't remember half the stuff I said. But she remembered. So it's back to what we were saying, like showing up as just your authentic self and just being and saying and just doing the things that, God is allowing to happen.
Yeah. And that just speaks to like, to encourage people, like show up as who you are, because you never know who you're going to touch. And you never know what and how much you can do for someone else. Like those small little doubts of like, I might not be enough, or maybe what I'm saying right now is wrong. Because I had those moments, even on this journey on this podcast. It was just like, well, I don't really have much to say about this, and I don't really have much to say about that. But you'll be surprised in just the small things, or even the time, But in those times and in those moments, you're still just showing up as who you are, and that alone is enough. I'm not going to answer the question on purpose because I don't know.
Wow. You had me digging deep.
You dug too. Not necessarily I don't know, but it's more so like I'm still talking to God about it. You know what I mean? I just know, and it just goes back to like our first season of me just knowing that like I love people. And I was having a conversation with someone else too in regards to just like what loves look like. Like God really has me on a journey of like identifying or differentiating between Bernadette and God. Because for a moment, although my intentions has always been good, it didn't necessarily align with God. And so, and it just goes back to what I said to you before. What we do for God only lasts. So although my intentions were good, it don't mean nothing.
That's true.
And so that's just where I'm at now. So I'm still trying to figure it out at my big old age. And it's okay.
Yeah, because like I said, I don't think your purpose is like set as into one thing. Like it's a connected to your journey, you know.
And as long as you got that gift of life, your purpose is living.
Yes.
Yeah. Your purpose is living, so live in the fullness. Black girl. Wait, what was that? Oh, the clock it. My niece told me it's not that finger. She said it's this one.
Well, I'm a millennial.
Okay. We're good.